dumpster fire burns wild. Chaos shenanigans at every corner. Sarcasm, a holy sermon in style. Dark chocolate, melted chaos warmer. Fighting this timeline with snark. Every soul welcome with no recorders. Baptized by laughter in the dark. We stand tall, scorning fake orders. In the church of Mo we rise. With chaos and shenanigans bright. Chocolate and sarcasm our rise. Together we light up the night.
Well, don't I look like a bright ray of, well, just pure Colombian uncut bitch right here? You think my lawyers would have told me to maybe put a smile on my face or sing something from Annie, but no, I decided to come in with my full-on resting Karen face because this is gonna go well for me. Welcome back, everyone. The Donna-ing is happening. And I do have a windy wig. So we will be doing the windying later this week. But oh my God, the Cubs, won't someone think of the Cubs? Do you think anyone told her to maybe not look as if she was a succubus that's, sucks the other souls out of people, just for funsies? And how dare she wear purple? Because I only have one prison suit and I'm not going to spend, $30 on a purple scrub top. It's ridiculous. I do wonder, what her song is in her head. I'm thinking it's I Will Survive. Or, oh, there's Harvey. My love, the Sansa pants. I hope you packed your passport.
All rise for session. Honorable Judge Stephen Everett presiding.
The Villages is
Number
empty.
one, you can see that.
Couldn't even stand up all the way. On the plus side, along with my waist size, growing, my hair did grow out too. So, you win some, you lose some. As you can all see, I am thinking about world peace and human kindness as expressed by my beautiful face. I know they have mirrors in cells. Are you telling me that this woman didn't stand up and look at herself in the mirror, a la Daryl Brooks, trying to figure out her strategy for how to look, unassuming, and she picked this face? All of those method acting lessons were totally wasted on Wendy. And Donna.
Your Honor, is your Zoom open or are you working on that?
I'm signing into the computer right now.
I am a master at one face, resting bee face. I love how she looks like she could be less enthused about this. This is the same face you're going to get at the DMV or apparently her sentencing for life without parole. She's got one face just like Kristen Stewart. That does make me wonder if someone could edit Donna Adelson in as Bella for Twilight. I'd actually watch it. On a total side note, so we had to run the van in and I forgot I was wearing the Donna wig. So Mr. Mo's driving the van and I park, in my little RAV behind him so that we can, leave the van and drive away. And I realized everyone was looking at me crazy, but I realized I look like, well, driving, like Miss Daisy got her driver's license and I'm driving around Dan Aykroyd. It is funny when I forget that I'm wearing a wig for a character, and then I'm like, oh, well, that does explain why I'm getting weird looks. Always a good thing. Javi's seen this face a lot. A lot. That's why he doesn't even need a mirror. He just knows this face. He's seen it every day of his life. Hey, Michelle.
That's correct, Judge.
Is there anyone that is going to be attending on behalf of the state as well?
Yes, Your Honor, the Markel family will be appearing by Zoom, but they're relying on their statements previously made.
That sounds awesome. And before we get too much into the fun and hilarity of roasting the hell out of our favorite mastermind that actually laundered, and I do not mean euphemistically, I mean literally laundered the ill-gotten or the, possible hitman money. None of the jokes will ever be focused on the victims. I can imagine the strength and perseverance and just plain steel in your spine that the Markel family has had to have to go through this long walk to justice for their son. So let's let them talk. We'll just make fun of Donna. I really never wanted to see Javi this much in my life. This is way too much Javi. Stop. Why are we focusing on him when it's about, Daniel or, Mr. Markel? I don't understand it. No one wants to see old Mr. Burns. To be fair, I thought that this was Walter from, Jeff Dunham in real life. Just as lifelike, too. We see him
We're
slowly
loud, but his
breathing.
iPhone, one of the witnesses in this matter.
I believe the gentleman appearing as our witness, Judge, this case.
All right.
Well, lead paint was really popular. Who knows how many chips he ate, allegedly, in Minecraft. I love that her face just doesn't change at all. Not from Botox, from bitch talks. She's gonna live till 500 from spite and vinegar. Gotta love court audio problems.
647 number belongs to Mrs.
Why do we keep seeing Javi? It's all
Zoom,
about me,
keep yourselves
Donna.
on mute until it is time for you to speak, please. We're here this afternoon for final disposition and sentencing in case number 2023 CF 3.
I love how she's already starting. Look, I'm a method actor just like Sean Penn, and I've got to start working up the tears. I start thinking about the end of Old Yella, but then I like that show. That's my favorite part of Old Yella. So then I just think of, something really sad, like the end of Free Willy.
226 State versus Donna Adelson. Parties can make their appearances.
Georgia Kappelman for the state.
Joshua's on for the defense.
Jack Fulford on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
Have the parties
Wait a minute. Closed captions, Jesus Adelson. She did want to get the boys' names changed. I mean, it might not be kosher, but I say it's the only Hail Mary that's going to work for her now. So, you know what? I, Donna, will be changing my name to Jesus Adelson, as usual. Just for help. Also, who the hell gave her a hair clip? or whatever this half pony. Did she see, Lori Vallow with the baby hair ponytail, and she's like, "I'll be classy and go half pony."
Receive their copies of the pre-sentence investigation report.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Are there any objections that either party wishes to make to the pre-sentence investigation report?
No, sir.
There are corrections that would need to be made, Judge.
What are the corrections?
Would you like me to stay in here at the lamp?
It's in there.
On page 1, they have the date of arrest as November 20th, 2023. And she was actually arrested on.
This is the mean, terrible judge that didn't even let me cry when I was convicted as an innocent woman. Did he not even think about the pasta and the cobs and the Pop-Tarts I'm going to have to deal with? I am currently, right now, in complete contact with Sarah Boone, and we are going to be starting our own defense league. The Avengers of Florida Women, if you can imagine. The Thelma and Louise of Florida Women of criminography. We are going to get this. She's going to teach me how to write a letter. I'm going to teach her how to brush her hair. It's going to be great.
On November the 13th of 2023.
I will notate the. Ms. Kappelman, is there any
No,
challenge to those?
No, sir.
I will notate the copy then that will be filed with the clerk as November 13th of 2023. Go ahead.
On page number 5, there are several. The first place, near the top, it says wage salary, and this was supposed to be her current employment that she had, and it said $1,000. She did not have employment where she made $1,000. She was not.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine me getting $1,000 a night on OnlyFans? I mean, I do have a loyal GILF following, but who could imagine? Also, didn't she work as the receptionist in the, dentist office that he ran? And she's like, she doesn't even make $1,000. Also, I didn't know Eileen from the Johnny Depp trial got her hair straightened. Good job, Eileen. I know it's not the same person, but the sort of daft and confused as to how I even got their face is the same.
Receiving any salaried income, so that should be 0.
Ms. Kappelman,
I'm
do
at
you wish to be
zero.
heard concerning this?
No, Your Honor.
So again, I will notate the wage salary as $0.00.
Thank you, Judge. The next, underneath there, it says the number of jobs in the past 2 years, 1. She has had no jobs. She's been employed the majority of the 2 years.
Yeah, because who didn't, I tried, I was gonna, press some license plates, make some, jeans, but, Levi would not talk to me. I'm not even sure if Levi's are kosher. So, I couldn't help. And, metal plates, license plates to me. I don't even go to the DMV. So I had to stop, and I was working on my spiritual growth and my carbohydrate detox.
Which part of page 5 are you referring to?
Well, that's on page 5, right underneath the wage.
So no jobs, no employment.
Correct, that should be 0.
Ms. Kappelman, do you wish to be heard?
No, sir.
Notate that there has not been any employment or 0. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Directly under there, it says months unemployed in the past 2 years, 0, and she's been unemployed for 2 years.
I guess being in prison or jail will stop
Okay.
you.
You're
It's not
asking
like
for
anyone's
roughly
looking at my
24 months.
LinkedIn.
Correct.
Go ahead.
There are 2 typographical errors in the remarks section. The second line from the top under remarks says history.
I mean, I have seen this face when I watch REM's Everybody Hurts, but ma'am, just for optics, just for giggles, could you try to not look like the most miserable hose beast on Fraggle Rock? Could we try? I mean, not that I really want to see you smiling either, because anything that makes Donna smile is bad for humanity, in my opinion. But you think you could look like you're not like you could give a crap? Could you look like you're not going in for a colonoscopy? Could we do that?
Comma she. I believe that's supposed to say the defendant.
Give me one moment, I'm finding it.
she, you see that's on the second line down. It says remarks
Sheath?
and then the word right under there.
Well, the word sheath was not something I thought I was going to see on a Donna Adelson thing, but if you had the word sheath and all of the, well, gutter things that takes you into, mark it on your bingo card of crazy stuff in 2020-25. Not 2020-25, but my brain got stuck on which number I was on.
My copy says history, comma, she.
Yes.
It should be the.
Ms. Kappelman.
No objection.
Go ahead.
And then in the same paragraph, 4 lines down to the far right, it said who had fallen in. That should be ill, I-L-L.
No objection.
You know it's bad when your defense attorney's only defense is grammatical. Like, look, the only defense we have is that a semicolon was not used. Says a lot about your defense. They had a dangling participle, Your Honor, and the junction was not functional. Donna, I'm just
Go
a
ahead, Ms. Wolfman.
convict.
Yes, sir. Going down under the financial status to where it says estimated total debts. In the second line, it says
humanity.
a second mortgage was taken out to pay for their home. That should say legal expenses, not home.
No objection.
I'm sure this is helping me a lot. We had to get everything down because the state didn't have whiteout. This is another injustice done to me. The typographical errors with the judicial
Yes, sir. The
errors.
same section where it states remarks, 3 lines down, it says husband's dental practice. That's incorrect. The dental practice was not providing income prior to her arrest. She was only receiving Social Security assistance.
Sure, Jan. Sure, she had she used not $1 of the dental, money for her. She was only living on SSI. Sure, Jan, I'll believe that just like I believe you can smile.
Income was, they listed Social Security, but they listed both.
Hobbies like we LLC'd.
Well, anything else?
On page 7, Your Honor, about halfway down the page, it has the remarks section. And if you go 1, 2, 3 lines from the bottom where it's listing grandchildren, on the right, it has a child's name, 14, and then it says a female, 7. That's actually a male.
No objection.
It's 2025. I'm not even going to put gender out. Look, in the year of 2025, what in the Walmart rapture year? Look, I just put down the age.
Right, any other objections?
Not from the defense.
The court has reviewed the PSI report. And at this time, I will direct the clerk to file it as a part of the record. Ms. Kappelman, do you have any other witnesses or evidence that you wish to present as a part of your presentation today?
I have some documentation regarding cost of prosecution, Judge. Would you like that at this time?
Yes.
The state has put together a summary page and a thumb drive. We are requesting $723,123.
Yeah, that'll be happening. Let Javi go, wash some money for you. I mean, I do like how I sidestepped and pretended that I never used Javi's money. So they'll come after me and my Levi's and, license plates. That being said, I do like this judge's kind of no nonsense and how he told her to, zip up and shut up basically during verdict. So he's an okay judge for me.
$68 in restitution. Defense advised that they want supporting documentation regarding this request, which is contained on this thumb drive. They're just receiving it today.
Ooh, a red thumb drive.
Have not had an opportunity to
Solid
review
lady
it.
over here.
At this time, the parties are in agreement to ask Your Honor to order cost of prosecution and reserve regarding the amount, and we'll see if we can reach an agreement regarding the amount.
Very well.
So that's one item that's in dispute for today. Another issue, Judge, is the score sheet. I've prepared 2 score sheets. May I approach again?
I asked for gross, not net. I am going to be demanding the W-2 of my prosecution. They're trying to nickel and dime me, and I'm not going to have it. If I have to stay in God's asshole, Tallahassee, then we are not going to pay, a fakakta amount to deal with this. Oh, hell no. I'm going to get Harvey right on it.
May.
First,
Anyone need a retainer, a headgear,
death points,
braces?
bringing the lowest permissible prison sentence in months to 172.5. The second does not include the death points, bringing the lowest permissible prison sentence in months to 82.5.
Walter,
Brought
why
to my
are you
attention
here?
yesterday that the defense objects to the inclusion of the death points. The limited research that
On the topic of death points, I would make a great Grim Reaper if we bring back Tales of the Crypt. You wouldn't have to have animatronics, you wouldn't have to have anything, and I look terrifying. ABC, give it a thought.
I've had an opportunity to do suggest that they should be included if the death was a direct result of the crime. I believe it was. The defense wants to argue otherwise, so whichever score sheet Your Honor chooses to go with, they've provided there for you. The state is requesting, are you ready for me to argue what I want for sentence? Okay.
Go ahead.
Obviously, life on count 1, Judge, we would ask for 30 years consecutive to count 1 on count 2, and 30 years concurrent to count 2, but also consecutive to count 1 on count 3. I do not have any additional testimony or other evidence to provide.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to body shame, but if you're going to be my bailiff, if you're going to protect me from all of the evil people who don't believe in my total innocence, which is why I was going to, Vietnam for no reason, could you possibly, I don't know, try to do the Megan squat challenge once a day? I mean, when your belt, makes double muffin tops on the top and bottom, maybe it's time to do a little extra steps. Look, I've been fluffy from the carbs in prison, and I've been skinnier, but seriously, let's get our steps in, okay, you guys? I deserve a better
We've had
quality
this
of
issue
bailiff.
of the death points being attached to the non-homicide offenses come up in other cases. Certainly the death points would attach if there were an offense that were being scored. But the first
Also, if we could make a Russell, any of the Bridges or, a Henry Cavill movie called, Death Points, I would watch the hell out of that. Think Roadhouse meets Henry Cavill, mostly shirtless. ABC, talk to me, I have ideas. But wouldn't you watch it? I would watch the hell out of that. Henry Cavill, basically shirtless, doing stuff. Death Point, the series.
degree murder is not being scored on the score sheet. What would be the basis, Ms. Kappelman?
That the death resulted from the conspiracy. It wasn't just a conspiracy without a death. It was a conspiracy that directly resulted in a death, hence the death points are appropriate.
What is the defense's argument concerning the score sheet?
I'll do my best, Your Honor, dealing with the weather for the last week or so. It's the same argument that was made on behalf of Dr. Adelson post-conviction. Your Honor granted the correction of the score sheet. Solicitation and conspiracy do not require an actual death. And I'll just...
Well, I mean, Hey, it sounds legal to me. My defense team is doing the best they could. They were rated on Timu and Fiverr with a 5, so I thought, why not?
Just rely on the same cases that were relied on by Dr. Adelson. State versus Johnson, 561 Southern 2nd, 1321. The crime, quote from that case, the crime of solicitation is completed when the actor, with intent to do so, has enticed or encouraged another to commit a crime. The crime need not be completed. And then in Becky v. State, 423 Southern 2nd, 417.
Okay, you would think at
second
the
DCA, crime
at the defense stage, you would be arguing that the death points don't matter. And he's like, no, actually, our rules that we looked at said you could, consider solicitation and conspiracy to include the death points. Is the defense working for the state? Is this 4D chess by Florida?
Conspiracy consists of 2 necessary elements: an agreement, 1, and 2, an intention to commit the offense. Once the intent is formed and the agreement is made, the conspiracy is complete. Just like Your Honor did in Charlie Adelson's case, by order that was not opposed by the Attorney General's office.
Grandma
That
of
order
the
is
year
dated
face.
January 24th, 2025. Your Honor agreed with that position and ordered the state to prepare a corrected score sheet at that point.
Well, Kevin, my memory of this is in line with the defense position. Certainly, if the state wishes to take any appeal concerning the score sheet, that is your choice.
Understood, Judge.
Death points will not be added to the score sheet that is signed by the court.
No
Defense
death
ready to
points.
proceed with its presentation.
Yes, Judge.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Would you like
Oh Lord, the obnoxious that's gonna happen now. But everyone's coming to Donna's defense. Everything's coming up Donna today. Let's see how it works out.
to hear or at the podium?
You may remain at the table, or you can come to the lectern, whichever.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I guess we would start with the witnesses that we have. The one who's standing by on Zoom is Dr. Ben Graber, who would like to make a statement on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
Dr. Graber, if you at this time can please
My best
turn on your
friend.
microphone.
And ladies, he's a doctor. A doctor.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Dr. Graber, if you can raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to provide today will be the truth?
Now, having heard some of the preview of this Dr. Doofus, we're buckle in. We're in for a crazy ride on Conspiriosity Train, and I'm here for it.
I believe you have a volume problem, Dr. Graber. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you.
This is probably the way all of my witnesses, in hindsight, should have been muted and muzzled. But you live and you learn. You live, you laugh, you love. And I'll be doing that from Tallahassee from now on. Life truly is a box of chocolates. You never know which Karen is gonna explode.
Have proper audio on your microphone and say 1, 2, 3 for me so I can test this audio.
It's going swimmingly for
He's
me
not
right
coming
now.
through either. Time to troubleshoot. Right. Dr. Graber, if you can say 1, 2, 3 while I test this equipment.
The amount of Kahunti energy in the courtroom was interfering with the Wi-Fi. That being said, it was all coming from me. I do have a mutant power. My actual bitchiness was able to get into the wiring. They'll probably add that to my bill.
But I can hear you now, but we can't get them over the loudspeaker. At least the witnesses need to be heard.
Oh good Lord.
Judge and a radio. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today will be the truth?
I do.
You can lower your head. If you're examining the witness, or is he reading a statement?
He's going to present a statement, Judge.
Dr. Graber, you may proceed at this time.
A
Thank you,
statement
Your
about
Honor.
me,
I appreciate the opportunity
Donna.
to come and speak on behalf of Donna Adelson. If I can, let me just brief description.
Is he recording and broadcasting live from a Casio speak and spell and a ham sandwich? What in the baked potato? Is he using Windows 94? Does he still have a JavaScript, or does he still have a Commodore 84? Is that where we're getting this from?
Of who I am, my background. I've been a friend of the Adelson family since 1979. The first 20 years I knew them, we were active.
Ew, does that mean he went to key parties with Donna and Javi? Ugh, I have way too good an imagination to deal with that crap. Ugh.
Engaged in many activities. The last 20 years, I haven't seen him that much until this trial became apparent to me. And my background is I'm a medical doctor, practicing obstetrics and gynecology, 45 years here in Florida.
Okay, so he is a former obstetrician gynecologist, and he is going to explain how Donna is all the innocent. That being said, ick.
Florida. I was also a state legislature from 1988 to 96, representing Coral Springs and parts of Broward County. I was the county commissioner in Broward County and mayor of Broward County for 1 year in 2006. Also a professor at the University of Florida Medical School and the University of Miami Medical School in clinical OB/GYN. And I'm here to speak today on behalf of Donna Adelson, the person I've known for a great deal of time. I may.
Yeah, but let's break down your statement there, Buster. You said, I knew them in the 70s. I have basically not been in their lives in the last 20 years. So contemporaneously to this going on, you have no idea if Donna succumbed to the dark side, the cahoon side. You know, you basically are remembering some chick from the early 70s that you sort of had an acquaintance with, and you've basically self-admitted years when she might have fully crossed over into Wonderful, wonderful. The internet, knowing, rural Indiana, I'm guessing that someone tried to steal, the fiber optics cable for copper, because at least normally here, I don't know. Y'all know I don't know the internet. But we're back. We're back from outer space. You just walked in to find me here with that Donna look on my face.
On behalf of Donna
Oh, for the
Adelson,
love
the
of
person I've
Cheetos.
known for a great deal of time. Hi Donna, just want to say hi. I'm sorry I can't be there to hug you.
I have to work up a tear. Won't someone think of my acting? Also, this isn't a cry face that I've ever seen. This is more like a squunched up, well, garbage pail kid. An elderly garbage pail kid. Because you don't. So, when you're crying, you generally don't have to hide a smile. It kind of goes down. Your face does crumple, but it doesn't like I'm trying to hide a smile. I give up with this woman. It's like she spent years and years under the tutelage of Mo and couldn't, figure anything out. Yes, she is.
And I'm sorry we didn't get to have that dinner after your trial was over.
Is he trying to defend her or date her? Ew. Like, first of all, I am in love with Harvey, unless, and of course, this doctor can get me into the Philippines or something like that for non-extraditable stuff. I love that he's like, I was going to take you out to the Sizzler. We'd get a ribeye. We'd feel fantastic. Did he watch the trial in which his friend was convicted? Was he not watching the same trial I did?
So I'm here on your behalf, to let you know that you have friends, and I believe in you.
I'm going to need facts and evidence for this. She has friends. I'm going to need every one of her friends to stand in front of the congregation of Mo and explainarate themselves. That being said, is she like the Duff now? You know how they had this entire movie about like the designated ugly friend? Is she now the designated felony friend? Asking for a friend. Because, my Mother's Day gift this year is either going to be a mug with, that says, "Hey, Mom, I may not be perfect, but at least I'm not Charlie Sheen." Should I get another one that says, "At least I'm not Donna Adelson, even though I play her on YouTube"? More tears for herself than she did for Dan. I can't go to dinner with my OBGYN friend. I'm gonna have to eat peanut butter and jelly and Uncrustables. Really, ma'am, really?
Let me say that, Tom, I never thought we'd be here at this situation when I first met you. It's,
Only I tend to profile people when I first meet them based on overwatching Law and Order and then Law and Order SVU for the most of my life. So I always figure that I'm going to be ending up in a felony case at some point in my life. Hopefully I'm not the defendant, but I always assumed this was going to be on my path. The people that are shocked about this, I just never know, because my imagination is such that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be a witness for something sometime.
total shock to me and to our families. And it's a tragedy for me to have to be here to talk about this. I feel very bad for your family, for the Markel family, for the tragedy everyone's experiencing. To me, I've been following this for 2 years. It appears to be a dissolution of two families. My background is similar in many ways to both families.
Okay, let me understand the logic train he's going on. He himself, as a retired or semi-retired OBGYN, has too been an orthodontist and the family trying to mastermind crimes. What is What is going on? Bilbo's balls. I just report the news. I don't know what's going on in people's head. It is a question that has, has confused me my entire existence. Tammy Faye, I didn't follow this trial because I already followed the Charlie Adelson trial. So I will be going back because I know that Wendy, I do have a Wendy wig, did testify, and a lot of it was Wendy done it from Donna's stuff. So again, her bawling because this ridiculous doctor is going to bloviate about bullshittery is ridiculous.
Like Ruth Markel, I'm the son of Holocaust survivors. I actually was born in Germany as a displaced persons camp, came to the United States at the age of 18 months. So like the boys, Lincoln and Benjamin, I don't have a lot of recollection from the first beginning of my time in the United States, but they don't have the recollection of their father, which is very sad to me. But they do have families, and I had family. We have to learn a great deal from our tragedies.
Charles Manson had a family. The Partridges had a family. The Bradys had a bunch. Where the hell are you going with this bloviating bullshit that you are talking? I understand you are saying words, but cognitively, they are about as, coherent as, again, what I just spewed out about TV families.
Doesn't come back into life. My distress is not just for Donna and the Adelsons, but for the Markels as well, and especially for 3 generations of each family, which I see in tragic downward swing. And yet, I did meet Lincoln and Benjamin at the bar mitzvah last year, and I got to make those 2 boys, wonderful boys.
Again, what is this man adding other than useless ramblings and equivocating that the Adelsons' plight is similar, if not just as great as the Markel family's fight, which I unequivocally believe is absolute ridiculousness. No. What in the confusion that is dressed up as a statement is this?
Unfortunately, I never got to meet Dan Markel. But I have read many of his articles. Very impressive, very talented man who made some very good points about the law and about compassion in the law, which he felt could be improved.
Mr. Burns.
And I agree with that. So part of what I'd like to say today is basically that I do believe that Donna is a victim of natural circumstance, but has been actively exploited by parties involved in.
I know I graduated before No Child Left Behind, but would someone like to explain right to me victim in this? Because I don't do math and I definitely don't do calculus, but I think we'd need Isaac freaking Newton, Stephen Hawking, and Einstein when he's not doing his cousin to, figure out the mathology about how Donna has been exploited. But let's listen to this OBGYN explain it to us. The hell is this man babbling about?
This case, I believe she was exploited by her son. Knowing Donna, who was the youngest child in her family, and knowing her mother.
No, I have not seen this.
With her mother, and understanding their love and need for family.
I need a linette. My mother's dead. My mother's not dead. Yes, this is my first time reacting to this, so I am... What in the name of all the rambling BS that I don't care about is going on here? Donna had a mom, so who doesn't? I mean, I assumed that she wasn't laid by an incubus or a succubus, but, the National Enquirer hasn't given me the location of her pod that she was raised in.
It makes no sense to me that she would pursue an activity that will destroy 2 families like it has. However, having known her son and some of his issues, I believe Donna, in her own naive way, trying to be a loving mother, is subdued by guilt.
Why is Cliff from Cheers trying to explain to me why Donna isn't a criminal? I I didn't even take a gummy before this. This is some, I love it when reality is stranger than any sort of enhancement.
By silence, by denial, and perhaps even active exploitation, and used for activities she had.
Right now, all I'm thinking about is Donna edited into Shaft for some real, exploitation film kind of. I'm just imagining Donna Adelson next to Shaka Khan in Shaft, the exploitationing. Oh my God, I would watch the hell out of that. Not gonna lie, I'd watch the hell out of any show that I make up in my head.
Had no part of. So I believe she's innocent on all three counts, even though she was found guilty on all three counts. Part of my understanding is also that the victims here are both families, and to watch the hate and distress and
Thank you for noticing. I do all of this hating and no one notices. And you like me. You really like me. I'm so glad everyone noticed. I've been roasting people for years. And, some days, and especially Mondays, I just need a little, it feels a little lonely without Sarah, complaining about the evils of the YouTubes. Just to know I've been seen makes me feel so alive.
the vengeance I see, the terrible thing to look at. As Holocaust survivors, do you think we would understand that how damaging?
That is the most grotesque link to Shoah I have ever heard. Again, we can all agree that the historical reference and what has happened in, the Holocaust is terrible, but to link it to Donna Adelson's struggles against exploitation, no, no, no. I speak for, I think, a majority of people that we don't want that co-signed with this. These are not two like things. Please, where is Will Smith when you need him? Keep the Holocaust out your mouth, sir. Especially when trying to, buffer her guilt.
It is to families. I would have to say my background, I grew up in the Bronx, went to the public school system.
I don't understand why we're listening to his little TED talk about where he grew up, but I'm here for it because, I didn't have, a historical lesson and a Donna is the victim lesson on my bingo card.
I was at Queens College when Donna was there. I didn't know her. She graduated a year after I did. My wife Sandy graduated from Queens College as well. And in Coral Springs, we met up after being there a while, new young families, professionals trying to build a life, having children, building a community, which we did. So to see this situation occur, to me, is devastating in many aspects. As a legislator, I can tell you that we see things in law. Even though I'm a doctor and was chairman.
I am having such a Troy McClure from Simpsons, like, hi, my name's Troy McClure, and you might remember me from such videos as That's How You Lose a Finger, and OSHA is not just for, checklists. I feel like this man is Troy McClure. He's like, you might also know me from my time as a legislator. Yes, sir, being on the HOA committee is not really that big a deal, but I'm glad you were in the town council. I'm sure you made some stupid rules and told everyone Troy McClure style that you used to be an OBGYN.
Healthcare, I was a Democrat, majority leader, and I sat on Judiciary Committee for 2 years, and understand the laws. Even wrote some of the sentencing guidelines and participated in passing them.
Well, that explains a lot about flippin' Flapjack, Florida. Thank you for admitting your guilt, sir. I'm sure, honestly, I love all the Florida news, so Again, is this a promo for his LinkedIn? What the hell is this, a cameo audition?
At that time. What I learned over the years is that I had the privilege of passing many laws, because I was a leader and I was able to work both sides. So many of my laws exist in the books. I get calls from judges periodically asking me about the intent of the law, and I wrote it because they have a case, and it's come down to what did you intend to happen from this law? And they would ask my opinion, and they would use that information.
No one in the history of ever has ever asked your opinion. I would like whoever has asked this man's opinion on anything not gynecological to come forward to the front of the congregation. Not his. I can already tell you that Timmy, Wilford Brimley, and Cliff from Cheers would not be, if he was related to anything, unless he was a Muppet. I would watch him portrayed as a Muppet, not gonna lie. I don't know. This is 15 minutes of our lives I don't think we're going to get back. But let's again hear his liturgy of the obtuse and the irrelevant. His homily on, well, just banality.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about the intent of the judicial guidelines for sentencing. I think the life without parole is a very harsh sentence. And that was not the intent, was to punish domestic cases with that, but to hit drug dealers.
Domestic cases also, what is this man going to be like, I used to be a state senator and I say this law is wrong? Okay, sir. I still think that the Golden Girls would have been great with Coco, their, gay live-in chef that they had. But, I guess we weren't ready for the fabulous live-in Coco.
Organized crime and dangerous to the public. But I think it's been switched over to be used in conspiracy theories against the average citizen, which should not be the intent of the law, in my opinion. Second of all,
I too have two opinions, two double D's, and not a care in the world what your opinion is. But go on, continue, sir. I'm hanging on every syllable. Yeah, DK Cripple, I watched the opening promo pilot of Golden Girls, and they had a live-in house maid, I think, Cabana Boy, who was named Coco, and he was flamboyant. So I guess he was written out, but he was hilarious, and I still lament that we didn't get Coco.
I think that it's unfortunate that this case has gone into so many new victims. And we've already, you have 4 victims who have been found guilty of murder. 2 have committed the murder, maybe 1. The others are conspiracy theories. And I would believe that I would suggest that needs to be reviewed by the legislature. That's my opinion. Now, in this case,
Dr. Graber, before you continue, is this being offered as character? Because he is not an expert.
The judge is like, before I let you continue with your campaign speech, sir, are you going to ever eventually get to a mother effing point sometime this century? Are you going to achieve a place where we're actually on topic?
Expert on the law.
It's character, Judge.
Very well. You may continue, Doctor.
yes, that's my opinion from my background. It's not, I'm not giving a professional opinion. I'm giving my personal opinion from experience. What I'm asking the court today is,
Unless a woman in front of you is right now legitimately crowning, I don't want to hear your opinion on anything, sir. I really don't. Your expertise is in lady bits, which, thank goodness, I'm glad you're doing it. Someone needs to catch the baby. But I don't want to hear about your opinions and Donna's possible old key parties. It's kind of weird.
to me, the court, the judicial system The power of the judicial system is in the judge. And it is the judge who is the presenter of a safety net for the public to show some compassion on the cold written law.
I'm just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. I mean, if he wanted to give us law talk, at least put on Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, I would have gotten more understanding and something useful out of this time.
With every box checked off, shows no compassion. Where does the compassion come from? It should come from the judge, it should come from the
I was
jury.
going to say sugar.
And I think that maybe
Cocaine?
that's something we have to consider. So at this point, what I'm saying is that I believe Donna Adelson is a 5-star mother, did everything she could do for her kids, for her family, for her community. She has no bad intentions. She's not a leader, she's a baby in her family. She's always been a follower. Yes, she makes noise and she complains, but that's not her behavior. This is not her profile. So I understand that nothing can be changed, but I want to put on record that I believe she is innocent of these 3 counts, and we believe her. With that, I would have to say, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and I think this is one of those cases, and it's unfortunate.
Wait, who's the bad person and who's the good person? Because given your rambling defense of Donna, I don't know that I trust your discernment about whether something's morally good or morally bad. You probably liked, The Rise of Skywalker. I do not trust you. You probably like licorice jelly beans. Again, I just don't trust you.
Families, I would ask, beg them, think about the 2 boys. Dad is not here, but a piece of him is here, and those 2 boys. And their future, they're both teenagers now, their future depends a lot on what's going on here, and how they're going to be perceived in the future, and how they will interpret the future based on this. So I think it's time for some
They'll use
compassion,
tarot
some
cards.
understanding, some forgiving. Perhaps it's time to take a step back and let it.
I'd like to give the world a Coke and sing in perfect harmony. Oh my God, Donna just needed a Coca-Cola, or maybe a Pepsi if she likes Kendall Jenner. What in the hell in the kumbaya is this? This is a great pick, Donna. I've had more confusion than I ever had.
Everyone heal from this process. With that, I say to you, to Donna, Samuel and I love you, we support you and the family, and we hope you the best. God bless you. And Ron, thank you for letting me speak.
Defense have an examination for the witness.
No, Judge.
Does the state have an examination for the witness?
No, sir.
Dr. Graber, you can remain on the Zoom. I would just ask you to mute
Yikes.
yourself at this point.
Thank you.
Defense have any other witnesses?
Okay. So I admit maybe having my friends, my doctor friend talk was a little bit of a swing and a miss, but I bet I have great ones after this. You always have that wonky first pop, pancake. And as I am a 5-star mother and first star, criminal masterminds, the second one will, I'm sure, be much better.
To present or evidence.
Yes, Judge, we have Rick Shagrin, who's present, who would like to make a brief.
Rick Shagin? This might be the best last name I have ever heard. I might change my last name to Shagin.
Statement.
If I only had a brain.
Please raise your right hand, sir.
Where did we get a Vagoda? God, the Villages is just empty during this particular hearing. The entire Villages have been emptied for both the witness and the state side.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today will be the truth?
I do.
You can lower your hand. You may direct the witness or you may give a statement.
If you could state your full name, please.
My name is Richard Gordon Chagrin,
And have you prepared a statement here today?
Yes, I have.
Okay, you can give that to the court at this time.
This on behalf of
Look, I made sure that his grandsons showed him how to scroll. This is going to be better. Now, as you can see, no, Dingus, come on now, stop. I love how Dingus is huge. Dingus was neither impressed with the first dress or the second dress, and Mr. Mo wasn't helpful. Okay, no, I just, no, I have nothing better to do. Please, have your tail in my face. The desk may move as he launches himself because 40 pounds of cat does move the table.
myself and my wife Susan Brotman, an attorney at law. We have known Donna Adelson for over 35 years. She's been a dear friend and travel companion, and we are still in shock of her current.
Wait, but I didn't invite them to our extraditionless vacation. And, honestly, I wasn't sure if he was going to testify for me because, I told him that it wasn't a Groupon sort of, vacation. And he got a little offended. That being said, his wife makes very dry kugel. Okay? I said it. I did. Look, when Seda comes and she brings her challah, I just tell her to put it in the back. But I'm actually surprised.
Circumstances. We know her to be a loving parent, wife, and grandparent. We stand behind her claim of innocence. We feel the trial was held in a county where there's been a lot of bad and inaccurate negative publicity, therefore not allowing a fair trial. We contend if a
Apparently everyone on Donna's side's really confused how the internet works.
change of venue was granted, she would have been found not guilty. We are hoping.
Sir, you could have held her trial on Mars, okay? That's the thing. The change of venue, I believe, is going to be something that's going to be less and less relevant as cases become global almost because of, different content creators and things like that. I do believe that continued, venue change might be a little bit upsetting or a little bit kind of obsolete now. Again, you can still, I think, find impartial juries in your own locality, but I do think that the sort of logic behind venue changes is becoming less and less relevant as stories go international, global almost. I mean, Karen Reed was international. Although I have never understood the vitriol involved in that case, that being said, I do think that it is going to become a little bit less relevant. But I'm not a lawyer. I bet this guy was the originator of the term, who wants a mustache right? Ew. Well, I mean, the Villages is supposed to be pretty swinging, y'all.
She will be relocated to South Florida, where she can pursue all legal remedies available. Thank you very much for your consideration.
These are character statements or quibbling about the evidence and the rulings?
These character judge, they're here to talk.
Thug judge. Come on now, thug judge. He's like, what the hell are these bullshittery statements? And I am right here with him because we had Cliff rambling and we have this guy that's like, it's not fair. If she'd been in Southern Florida, she would have, Key Wested her way out of this.
About their friendship and time, thank you.
Any witness examination for Mr. Chagrin?
Captain.
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Any other witnesses?
We did provide to the court, if you received your copy, Judge, some very short letters that were written as character support on behalf of Mrs. Adelson, if I may go through those at this time.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The first letter that was submitted to the court was by Annie Cunningham.
Please let one be from Sarah Boone. Please let this be the crossover of Cahoon to Cahoon, the Thelma and Louise of Florida Cahoontery. Come on. I need an odd couple of Sarah and Donna in their cell.
And Ronald Gutterson, who testified at trial. They say, we are writing this letter to restate our knowledge and feelings regarding Donna Adelson. We have known Donna since 2009 and consider her to be our dearest friend. Donna is a kind, caring, loving person. She was always concerned with the welfare of others. She is not the monster portrayed by the media. Donna is incapable of threatening or harming anyone. Donna is almost 76 years old and in frail health after almost 2 years of incarceration. We will always believe her to be innocent and ask the court to take these factors into consideration when deciding.
So her friends believe she's innocent, and the court has what to do with that. Okie dokie.
Donna's sentence. Next, we submitted to the court was one of her longtime friends, Ruth Rosenberg, who wrote, I immigrated to the USA from Israel when I was 1 month shy of 12. I lived in Israel in a town of 5,000 inhabitants where my family knew almost.
Okay, I'm sorry. And there is something deeply, deeply just grotesque about the fact that Donna and her witnesses are bringing out the Holocaust and sort of these big pivotal, things that really shook our world, to kind of glom on to that sympathy. Again, it's just for a woman who talked to her daughter about dressing her, grandsons as the, Mr. Hankety Clankety youth to get back at Dan. I just find it to be grotesque that she is going to use this to try to shield herself from any condemnation. It's a grotesque, clinical, and cynical use of her history and her family's history. And it's just so beyond gross. Just when you think they can't dig any deeper to the levels of human grossness that they can achieve, she just rises to the occasion. And thank you, Strange Little Badger, for the £2. Thank you for the hilarity, Mo. Love from Yorkshire. And thank you. I am jealous of you because you can get sausage rolls and Bakewell tarts whenever you want them. It is a good thing I'm not in the UK because I would be 9 bajillion stones. Although I do like to weigh myself in stones because it sounds so much different and less. But I can never remember how many pounds are in a stone, and then I get, math is not my thing.
Everyone, and came to New York City, Queens, with a population of close to 8 million residents. To say it was a culture shock is an understatement. I didn't speak any English and physically looked like an underdeveloped child in comparison to the American girls my age. I entered the 7th grade in September, not knowing any English, the quote stranger in school. For several months, I sat by myself at lunchtime in the cafeteria, staring at the next table, where Donna and a group of her friends were conversing, laughing, and
Donna was totally the mean girl. She was like, on Wednesdays we wear pink. She was. She was the head of the plastics.
having a nice time. One day, Donna walked over to my table and asked me if I would like to join them, and of course I said yes, please. That kind gesture started a 62-plus year friendship. She invited me to her house to meet her family, and over time we became like sisters. I can recall several instances where Donna helped me obtain a job so I can help my parents financially. She introduced me to a family.
Yeah, you can do good things in your past, but if you took the life of someone else, it's really hard to be, really proud of the fact that you started a recycling campaign in the 1960s or whatever it is we're going with here. Again, this seems more like a cover, a facet that she used to keep the mask of, genteel, kindness. But do I believe that Donna did kind things without wanting the appearance of virtue or the kudos that she got from it? Based on everything I've seen, this woman doesn't do anything without calculation, and she raised a daughter just like herself.
In a bungalow
Allegedly in
colony
Minecraft.
in the Catskills who needed a mother's helper for their daughters in the summer of '66. The money I earned.
Wait, Donna was baby in the corner? This is the Dirty Dancing twist none of us needed. Ugh. No one puts Donna in the corner. Everyone puts Donna in the corner. Everyone. At least they should. And thank you, Squaw Bob. I'm getting that pulled out over here. And that membership went to DK Cripple. So congratulations. Had to restart my doggone computer. Gotta love this whole, I was a good person in the 1950s, so why do you believe I did something bad in the 2000s? It's almost like people change and become bitter husks of humanity with their cynicism and, vitriol.
Helped my parents pay for the closing costs on their house. The following summer, she got me a job as a counselor at Camp Allegra in the Berkshires. When I had to decide on a career path, I consulted with Harvey and Donna about applying to dental school as my college advisor had recommended. Later that year, I was chosen to be the maid of honor at their wedding. We remained close friends throughout the years, even though we lived more than 1,000 miles apart. Our families visited each other.
Donna, she'll still send you Hallmark cards. They'll just have to be checked.
Periodically, making sure that our children and grandchildren got to know each other. We attended life cycle events of our children, bat and bar mitzvahs, weddings, special birthdays, etc., and now our grandchildren's. Donna has always been a kind-hearted, generous, loving, and caring. She is one of my best friends, and I will forever remember and appreciate how she helped me with English while I helped her with math in Parsons Junior High School, and remained loyal through these 62 plus years. The situation she is in today is unimaginable to me. That is not the person I know and love. We also submitted a letter from Ron Ellis to the court. My name is Ron Ellis, and I have had the privilege of knowing Donna Adelson for more than 30 years. I am writing to you in hope of offering some perspective on the woman I have come to know so well over the course of our long friendship. Donna.
Just optically, you guys, if your significant other is, getting sentenced for being a horrible person, maybe don't look like Mr. Burns brought to life and like you could possibly be an evil mastermind at the end of a Bond movie while caressing a white hairless cat. Because right now I'm getting real Dr. Evil, only in real life, the creepy guys look like this guy. Allegedly in Minecraft. Maybe don't do the Kubrick stare. I'm just throwing that out there.
Has been a steady and caring presence in my life. When my stepson passed away 11 years ago at the age of 34, Donna was there for me in ways I will never forget. She sat with me in my grief, listened when I needed to talk.
Making fun of Donna Adelson. This is the Donna Adelson sentencing, and thus far she has had stellar witnesses for her defense. A legislator / OBGYN who explained to us how the law is wrong and should only be used for drug dealers, and then a couple of letters from people who knew Donna and believe that none of this is real. She's doing a stellar job.
And offered comfort when I felt overwhelmed. That kindness and empathy is the Donna I know. Someone who shows up for her friends and offers strength in their darkest moments. Over the years, I have seen Donna's compassion extend beyond just me. She has been a devoted mother, a loyal friend, and someone who consistently tried.
A devoted mother who disowned her one child for getting away from her web of control. Sure, wonderful mother disowning one of your kids for not marrying in the faith. Seems like a splentacular grandma.
To bring warmth and generosity to those around her. I understand fully the gravity of the situation before the court, but I hope that when you consider Donna's sentence, you will also weigh the years of kindness, care, and humanity she has shown to others. I believe that Donna still has the ability to contribute positively, even under these circumstances, and that she is capable of reflection.
Her paralegal really needed to have some Vicks Vapor Rub right there so she could do one of these jams, like... It's really, she didn't put a lot of thought into her crying face, and I feel like if she'd just had some Vaseline.
And growth. I respectfully ask that you take these qualities into account when you make your decision. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Ron Ellis. And then a brief letter from Marion and Tim Schaffman. She writes, "We have known Donna for over 50 years. And although we live far apart and have seen her often over the years, we wanted to share with you our impressions of the lovely person we have known. Donna has always been a loving, kind mother and wife, and also an exemplary daughter to her parents, who often stayed with their family. We have never heard her utter a negative word about anyone and had tremendous pride in every member of her family. She retained many friends from her childhood and developed long, satisfying friendships with the new people she met throughout each stage of her life. Donna was always intelligent, charismatic, and sensitive to everyone. She always listened to anyone's problems and offered a helping hand when she could. Most notably, her genuine concern over our and others' health issues was truly appreciated. As you can see, it is very difficult for us to view her as anybody other than the sweet, caring person we knew. Sincerely, Marianne and Ted Shaffman. Next is a letter from Jessica Usury. Dear Judge Everett, my name is Jessica Usury, and I am writing this letter to express my personal experiences and knowledge of Donna Adelson's character.
Look, to be real, I should have offered a kidney. Sarah told me, she's like, if you want to get really good witness letters, you need to offer a kidney or a liver. Now, both of mine are kind of shot kaput, you know, but I was willing to try, just no one needs my appendix. And no one wants my soul.
Donna and I share a beloved grandson, Roman Harvey Adelson, born in 2017. My first memory of Donna is a video made and shared on Mother's Day 2017. Charlie Adelson surprised his mom with the news that he and my daughter Brianna were expecting a baby. It warmed my heart to watch Donna's genuine excitement and happiness caught on video. Our families began spending time together as events and celebrations took place. I recall Donna being warm and welcoming. As I got to know her more, there was no doubt in my mind that she was a loving and devoted wife, mother, and grandmother. Roman's birth was a scheduled cesarean section on December the 5th.
Tammy, these are people that are coming to Donna's defense. They're giving witness impact statements, or basically trying to tell the judge that they totally don't believe that Donna did anything. So please reflect her alleged innocence and our kind of personal evaluations, having known her, and allow them to maybe shade your judgment.
On that day, I was overcome with mixed emotions of excitement and fear. A family awaited Roman's birth at the hospital during unnerving procedure. Donna was affectionate and compassionate, as I was visibly anxious and emotional. I will always remember how she reassured and calmed me that day. We shared tears of joy and hugs when a beautiful and healthy boy came into this world.
That is her husband, Javi.
Donna was caring and supportive of Bree as a new mom. I have many fond memories of time spent with the Adelsons. Although Charlie and Bree were no longer a couple beyond Roman's first year, we all remained close. Donna has been kind, thoughtful, loving, and generous. Thank you sincerely for taking the time to read the letter, Jessica Usury. And then a short letter to whom it may concern. I've worked at Adelson Institute for Aesthetic and Implant Dentistry from October 3rd, 2011 to September of 2022. During my time of working there, I had the opportunity to experience the beautiful person that Donna Adelson is. Through my time of working often side by
I'm gonna need facts for this particular thing.
Side with her, I've witnessed her grace and ability to diffuse upset patients. She's incredible with having compassion for others and is truly one of the sweetest people I know. She's so supportive and understanding when it comes to her employees. When an elderly person comes in as a patient, she always made sure they had assistance, whether needing help filling out forms or even opening the reception door for them. She always jumped at the opportunity to be kind and helpful. I witnessed this and I know it was sincere. I still use what I've learned from her and apply it while I'm at work every day.
This is going to be just a general life advice from your, unlicensed, unbonded life guru, Mo. But never ever live your life under the what would Donna Adelson do rubric. Look, it's not a good thing, because what Donna Adelson wouldn't do is, basically not get caught. So there you go. No, hers is not a wig. This is definitely a wig on me.
I recognize the gravity of the situation and understand the seriousness of the legal process, but I respectfully ask that you consider the positive qualities that define her. Sincerely, Erica Johnson. And then the last letter that we submitted from was Attorney Gary Cohn. He said, my name is Gary Cohen. I've been a member in good standing of the Florida Bar since 1980. I have known Donna and Harvey Adelson as personal friends and personal counsel for almost 40 years. Harvey was also my dentist for most of those years. I have been in the Adelson house, and they have been in mine numerous times over the years since their children were little ones. My wife and I have socialized with Harvey and Donna at dinners, blessed events such as bar and bat mitzvahs.
I don't care if they were really good at pickleball or if they did the best shuffleboard, electric slide ever. Again, what Donna shows, what her mask is for the people outside her circle is probably diametrically opposed to what her real face is, and the woman who was, convicted of taking the life, or at least masterminding the taking of the life of her ex son-in-law. So I don't care if she was real good at pickleball. I don't care if she was the best, dental employee whatsoever. This is all about control and the appearance of virtue.
And weddings, birthdays, and many other occasions. I've also traveled with them, including a wonderful trip to Africa with 2 of my sons several years ago.
Oh my God, Donna and Javi do a safari. Oh my God. We were like the wild thornberries. It was amazing without the little wild kid. Yeah, because Donna is a person I imagine in, Algeria.
I therefore have had a unique opportunity to observe
Just a
Donna under
little.
many circumstances. In all the time I have known her, I have literally never heard Donna raise her voice, lose her temper, act inappropriately, or treat anyone with less than full respect, and almost always with a smile on her face. I have never heard a bad word said about Donna from any other friend or person in my presence. She has always been an amazing mother to her children, and she and Harvey have had the most loving marriage that can be imagined. While I cannot comment on any of the facts of this case or any of the alleged events, I can say that the Donna I know is the last person I would ever think of when it comes to what has been this utterly horrible crime, dealing with the death of Dan Markel. Being a trial lawyer for 45 years, I fully believe in the jury system and understand that a jury has spoken. However, the woman I've known so well for so long also needs to be understood as the wonderful wife, mother, grandmother, and friend that she has been known to me. I only hope that this information can be of use to the court when it comes to the sentencing of Donna Adelson, Gary Cohen.
I don't care if she pushes
At
her
this time, I
card
believe
in at the
that Mrs.
Aldi's.
Adelson's husband, Harvey Adelson, would like to address the court.
Very well.
Now, from what I've heard, Harvey is nuts. So, dear God, let's let Walter, the alive puppet, talk.
Do you wish to enter these letters into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Does the state have any objections?
And we are on
They will be composite
1.25.
defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we're going to baconate. Did these
Does the state have any
two,
objections?
okay, these two right here, were they on their way to White Castle and thought, you know what we should do? We should watch Donna Adelson get sentenced. I mean, it does look like Harold and Kumar got lost on the way to White Castle. Just to me, because I already have, like, they just got a little gummied and decided they were going to hang out in a courtroom. Didn't realize it was just, like, I get everyone else being there, but they're like, dude, I thought this was my trial. They thought they were in traffic court. They're in the wrong court.
They will be composite defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife...
Sir, there's no way we cannot have you have a class action lawsuit. We understand your pain and suffering, but you saw the ride and still bought the ticket. You're being married for over 50 years to this swamp donkey isn't our fault.
I've sacrificed everything so that she could pour...
My wife is just like Jesus. I hope he has some gopher wood for her cross.
her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mine. She has done nothing wrong.
I mean, that sounds like a humble brag, but okay.
And yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched.
Does he not understand that maybe you shouldn't be litigating the case and maybe just saying that your wife's a good person? Although you're not really in a church, so I think you should be good. I hope you're wearing Crocs, though, so you remain grounded because, lightning strikes and all that.
And sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom.
Well, I guess we're not going to get the angry old man, stereotype out. But I do like that we're bridging the generational gap here.
But apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren.
No, they would tell lies, not contend to tell lies. Well, I'm glad he's angry. 'Cause this is going just well. Not to shit on the victims, but I'm going to shit on the victims. This seems like a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how she dodge, dives, and ducks and dodges out of this one. Accountability has no stick when it comes to Teflon Donna.
Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Doctor.
I mean, everyone just keeps noticing that I do all this work. Sometimes I wonder if making fun of convicted felons is worth it. But then people notice me in their victim impact statements, and it just makes all of it worth it.
Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just a moment, please?
Go ahead.
It's almost like with the Sarah Boone letter, you should have edited a little this. Okay, please let there be a Sarah Boone connection. Please let Donna or Harvey's letter have been ghost authored by Sarah Boone. Come on, crazy. I need this in 2025. When your defense attorney's like, none of this you can say, none of this you can say.
Just one second.
When your letter is so corrosive to your wife's innocence and, benevolence towards your wife, that you basically get to say, "Hi, my name is Javi." That is all.
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what?
Dude, run. This is your chance to get away before you end up in, felonious prison as well. I mean, I'm willing to go for a hat trick and get all the Adelsons except for the one that broke away. But I mean, go ahead and squarely target, all the people that don't. For the longest time, Harvey has, been able to kind of skirt the sort of taint that the rest of his family has because of his kind of silent and sort of inept look, like he was just being dragged along by Donna. But now he looks like a genuine gold-plated douche canoe too. So I say, Donna, we need Wendy and Harvey now too.
What? This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
You have an examination for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Any other witness statements that you wish to give?
5 pages and all you get is 1 paragraph. She did probably threaten him. They're like, this has gone swimmingly. We will, yeah, I'm doing my LinkedIn too.
We don't have any further witnesses, Judge, but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if you wish to speak.
Judge, case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing. The court, Rule 3.720B states the court shall entertain submissions and evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence. A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case, as the defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement. This is a capital.
Please give the citations.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. First
I believe
is
so.
Smith v. State, 268 Southern 3rd, 831. It's from the first DCA in 2019.
Let's be real. Look, y'all, I knew that if I touched a Bible or a Torah, you know, I might go up in flames. So I told my lawyers, who did a fantastic job, straight hair Elaine and this guy, you know, to just not touch any holy book of any sort of caliber. That's why I was like, could I, you know, swear on Moby Dick, or even, you know, like a BBC collection of Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. I was willing to do that. I do believe the significance of unsworn is that she cannot be charged with perjury, but I will have to look that up. That being said, I think that they're trying to, should whatever she says be possibly defamatory or perjury, they might be getting out to that. But let me put it in Chat GPT and see what Chat GPT has to say about it.
You want to continue, Your Honor?
Give me 1 moment.
Yes, sir.
Bringing up my Westlaw. Give the citation again.
Sure. It's 268 Southern 3rd, 831.
Okay, so what ChatGPT is saying of a sworn statement, or AKA testimony under oath, is that the person is promising to tell the truth under penalty of perjury. An unsworn or allocution or personal statement is not given under oath and therefore is not subject to perjury penalties and cannot be cross-examined. So this can be done when the defendant speaks before sentencing. It's supposed to be more personal and emotional, often expressing either remorse, which I doubt we'll see with Donna, apology, or asking for leniency. The only one of those 3 things I could see is asking for leniency. Now, the judge can consider it, but it will not carry the same evidentiary weight as a sworn testimony. Now, the content of her elocution basically cannot be challenged or cross-examined. So if she had made a sworn statement, then it does seem like Ms. Kappelman could have cross-examined her. So they're trying to keep Donna off of the hot seat.
Which pinpoint site are you referring to in the case?
246.
Seeing in the case where it does state the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Would you like Mrs. Adelson at the lectern or here?
She can remain at council table.
Thank you. I'm going to move the microphone. I think it's valid because this was not amplified.
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
Thank you for letting me speak. My son-in-law, Dan Markel, was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but more importantly, he was a caring and loving father.
Where is Will Smith? I want, like, the fact that she's talking about Dan and being all verklempt, like she's really sad, when she talked about, you know, spitting on their Jewish heritage by dressing up the boys in, you know, WW2 youth, you know, things, or transitioning them into Catholicism or Christianity just to irritate Dan. This woman is such a swamp donkey. Just ugh. And of course, Mr. Mo decides to put on the leaf blower like I'm not doing a stream here. I'm streaming here.
On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day in the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them, and the last time they would see him.
Is she trying to give us the too long didn't read of her own trial? We kind of have already seen this trial 3 or 4 times, considering, you know, the hit people and the first little tertiary conspiracy got found out, then Charlie got found out, then Donna finally got pulled in. I love how she's giving us the Netflix, you know, too long didn't read of her own personal case, just in case I was stupid.
Didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise.
But I did.
And he didn't know when he drove home that his life would end within minutes. Danny wasn't just being followed, he was being hunted. He was brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car, in his garage, by vicious killers. I cannot imagine
that you, and I do mean me, literally, I did it. I did the wash of the dollars on the gentle cycle because I didn't know how long that you're supposed to launder money. So I did the gentle cycle, like for your lingerie and your teddies, which Harvey loves seeing me in still, va va voom. Anywho, again, where is Will Smith when you need him? I think he has unlocked a superpower for which he can make more money than he did in Hollywood. More honestly. Just saying, there are opportunities in time where Will Smith would be greatly helpful.
the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I cannot conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny died in the early morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his sister.
Someone give me a Kleenex. We practiced this, Dolores. We practiced this. This is why you can't get good help. I told her I was going to get verklempt. I wasn't going to talk about Barbara or Babs. Hey, Joe, this is Donna doing her own victim impact statement, which is hilarious. But I do believe that we will hear from Dan's family after this. Usually it is the victim's family that goes first, and then the defendant has something that they can say before sentencing, but I believe that Dan's family will be talking after this.
All of us in his family, his friends, his colleagues in the legal community, and to his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night."
I'm going to take things that never happens in your house for 800 and double didn't happen at Wendy's house for 1,000, okay? in all the fakakta made up stuff, you went on a literal war with Dan. And then you're gonna over here say that you had like these wholesome, they kissed the picture and they were like, Father, we love you. It was like from, Matchmaker, like, Papa, can you hear me? Do you want to build a snowman? I mean, Deadpool has a point.
And Abba, I love you. The pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when...
Oh, thank you, Observation Station. I will have to go back and we will probably tomorrow listen to the Markel's statements. I did not realize that they were broken up like this. That being said, we will probably catch that tomorrow because I won't be on the whole time. Denise Sell, Mo, next time you're going to say anything about Donna and lingerie, I'm going to need a heads up. I got you. Yeah, we definitely need hyperemesis medication. And thank you, Observation Station. I knew that I hadn't kept up with this trial, but the opportunity to roast the hell out of Donna. But we will definitely take time to honor the Markels and their statements tomorrow.
Daddy died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love. The love that Danny would have given them if he...
You mean the love that his children would have gotten if we hadn't taken out their father? I know it's very hard for you to understand my victimology and all of this, but the greatest minds, Stephen Hawking and, that Einstein and that little smart kid Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory, they helped me out. And if you look at it pi r squared with a narcissism, coefficient, I actually am the victim. And this is in Florida. Tammy, this is a fairly long case. The Dan Markel was killed, I believe, in 2012. I may be very wrong about this. And first they went with the actual gun people and the girlfriend of Charlie Adelson as the primary, facilitators on this. And then conspiracy charges came for Charlie Adelson, the son of Donna Adelson. And Donna is considered to be sort of the mastermind of this plot to take Dan Markel out of this world because he would not give Wendy Adelson the opportunity or the permission to move their sons, 400 miles away to be closer to Wendy's parents. So just, Donna, you could have just been silent, but no, let's continue with your bloviating.
We're alive. It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder. In both of Catherine...
That's because all the masterminds were master morons, okay? I mean, it's good that they didn't say, enthusiasts of thinking, but none of you were masterminds. That's why we're all confused, because somehow 5 pinkies got together and made something happen. No one was the mastermind. That's why we're all confused.
Banner's trials, the state claimed she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that this grandma...
Yes, because you all share a brain collectively. You daylight as Mensa members. Seriously, collectively between all of you, you laundered money. And not figuratively, not through, other places to make money legitimate. No, you legitimately put it in the wash machine and stapled it together. We are all confused because we are trying to wonder how, thinking enthusiasts such as yourselves were able to pull off anything functional besides turning oxygen into carbon dioxide.
Was the mastermind behind the murder. I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed.
Now I'm stuck in God's asshole, Tallahassee, and I can't wait for my daughter Wendy to join me. She lied, I cried, and Charlie took the fall. Now, I do believe in the intervening years, Miss Donna or Mr. Charlie will start talking. I believe that people that are used to a certain type of lifestyle will break eventually. And the sort of, desire to want to protect Wendy is going to get a lot more real in the intervening years in, Gen Pop. So I foresee them turning on Wendy fairly quickly. After reality of what, life in prison actually looks like. It hasn't happened yet.
Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18, 2014 at 10:50 in the
Also,
morning?
where is Carmen San Diego and
As it relates to
Waldo?
this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Sales an opportunity to be heard.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please proceed if you desire to do so.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act? Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict me. The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand.
How do you solve a problem like Donna? How do you make them understand? I didn't do a drop. I don't talk to cops, but how did they find me guilty anyway? Oh, how do I solve a problem like my incarceration? How do I make them understand? I guess I'll make a statement, then makes fun of the jury and tell them they're all morons from Tallahassee. Look, the Donna musical is coming.
And for hours, their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder.
Ma'am, like your jitterbug gets GPS. Miss me with that noise.
The state's theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop to the jury through the remainder of the...
Push it. Push it real good. Do 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 do. I just need a salt and pepper break.
trial. And the jury bought into it. Hook, line, and
They
sinker.
bought it.
Reasonable doubt. Many months
Reasonable
ago, my
doubt.
attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my...
I know they just keep noticing me. The Donna wig has worked its magic and I'm going to be famous. Oh my goodness.
my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state.
Okay, Elon, I'm begging you. I even asked Elon, I was like, put me in SpaceX. That would be the only way I'm going to get a fair jury. Ma'am, everyone has seen the examples of your swamp donkeyness on live streaming television. Like, miss me with the noise that you were going to get an unfair trial.
State of Florida, other than Tallahassee. All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here, in the hotbed of Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, where the guilt comes rolling down the lane. Tallahassee, where Donna will spend her life trying to explain.
I sat through 3 days of jury selection. 180 potential jurors were asked if they had developed an opinion in my case. Those that
I developed an opinion about your hair.
answered yes also added, I believe she is guilty. Not one person, not one, said, I think she may be innocent. That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue, but the court denied the motion. One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about. Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror
Hopelessly devoted to my jury and my retrial. Ma'am, this judge is pretty good. I don't think you got railroaded, but you can always appeal for a second trial.
Mrs. Fulford,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zellman, again, this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court. What does any of this have to do with sentencing?
Just one moment, please.
Don't cry for me, Tallahassee. The truth is I'm never leaving. All through my mad life, my wild existence, I never thought I'd be convicted. Rachel Zegler, I have a part for you. This judge is like, what in the Walmart rapture? When your lawyers have to edit not only Javi's, but your statements. Eat your heart out, Madonna.
Turn that phone off or shut it.
They're editing my statement, but my statement's gonna make a statement, come what may. I mean, you can't tell, but I was a former theater kid, and this is what I did behind stage. Although, mainly with the people that were doing the acting and not kindly. Hello, Boosh. Well, hello, Donna. Well, hello, Donna. We're so
Please.
nice to have you
What
back
happened
where
to
you
Danny is
belong.
unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it. There are two crimes here. The first was Danny being viciously murdered. The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit. I do
Not
intend to
without
file
the
an appeal so that
suitcase.
hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago, Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loved him. For the past 9.5 years, the state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. Never in a million years would I have wanted Danny to be harmed or killed, nor could I ever do something that would leave these two small boys to grow up without him. I love these boys more than life itself. This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this. His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor, I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my life, I was not involved in any way with Danny's murder. I was not.
I was not. I was not.
Gents have any further argument to make?
Yes, Judge.
Judge, before Ms. Fulford makes the argument, I want to address the comment that the court made a few moments ago concerning considering lack of remorse in fashioning a sentence. In Shepherd v. State 227 Southern 3rd, 746, the First District Court of Appeal held that lack of remorse cannot be considered.
Well, that's a good statute to have on your side when you did nothing but dip, dodge, dip, and dive over accountability.
In fashioning an appropriate sentence. If this were a situation where remorse and admission of guilt being grounds for mitigation, the lack of these factors cannot be used to increase the defendant's sentence, and such reliance violates the defendant's due process rights, and they also rely on Ritter v. State 885 Southern 2nd 413, also a first DCA case.
I believe the Supreme Court has ruled on this issue concerning remorse and lack of showing remorse as well. If you need me to find the citation for you, I will.
Donna's got 99 problems, but remorse ain't one of them. I got 99 problems, but remorse ain't one of them. I mean, I think we clearly demonstrated that. Me and, P. Diddy.
Yes, please.
We'll take a 10-minute break.
The judge is like, what in the name of Hades did I just listen to? The judge is going back to drink some nice bourbon. Oh, she got her hair did in the middle. Oh, look at that. She smoothed it all out. She's going to have her Pantene Pro V, her pert,
Gentlemen, were you able to review Davis?
Briefly, Your Honor, Davis was not a capital case. This is a capital case. Although the criminal punishment code would only apply to the non-capital cases, I would argue submissively, Your Honor, that it is distinguishable under those circumstances.
I'm going to read from Head Note 8 and 9. Nor was Davis forced to choose between allocution and maintenance of his innocence. He certainly could have allocated without voicing his disagreement with the verdict, blaming the driver, the police, his lawyer, the trial court for his conviction, and attempting to explain his personal interpretations of the law to the judge. He could have asked for leniency without admitting guilt. He could have provided the judge with reasons to impose a sentence less than the maximum besides his claimed innocence. But he instead chose to make a lengthy statement claiming innocence, denying responsibility, and placing blame for his conviction on the alleged misconduct of others. The trial court was under no obligation to ignore such statements and did not err in considering those statements and imposing the legal sentence here. Do you have anything?
The judge said, "Bon voyage, bitch burrito. I can take lack of remorse into my sentencing." You know when your lawyer already has that little statute on jump, like the lack of my client offering any remorse or any semblance of having a soul is cannot be used against her.
Thing that distinguishes Davis in any way?
As I said, Your Honor, Davis was not a capital case.
Go, judge.
Very well. Any other argument or evidence the defense wishes to present?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Please move forward.
Oh my God, what more?
Your Honor, we're
Come on,
aware that in
Elaine.
count one, the court has no choice but to sentence Mrs. Adelson to life for the first-degree murder charge. We are going to request a downward departure as to counts 2 and counts 3, the solicitation and the conspiracy counts.
What are the grounds?
Pardon me?
What are the grounds?
The grounds are, one is non-statutory, and that's disparity in the treatment between co-defendants. And the second reason is statutory, and it is Florida Statute 921.00262B. The defendant was an accomplice to the offense and was a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct.
The evidence in support of sub B would be the trial record, or do you have something more specific?
It's all about the sub
For
Bs.
4B, we're going to rely on the trial record with respect to the conduct of Mrs. Adelson, and we would ask the court to take judicial notice. Your Honor did preside over Charlie Adelson's trial, and the evidence regarding the other co-defendants' activities or participation was also brought out in the testimony.
They're guiltier
in the trial
than
of Mrs.
me.
Adelson, so we'd rely on that record, Judge.
When your defense is forced to pull out, they're guiltier than me. I only paid for it. I didn't do it. You might be having a bad day in court.
Appelman, as to the argued grounds for statutory mitigation and also non-statutory mitigation, does the state have any argument to make?
No, Your Honor.
You may continue.
Thank you, Judge. I'll start with the disparity. Do you need case law citations for this, or you're aware of it,
Please.
Judge? Okay. The first case would be Sanders v. State, 510 Southern 2nd, 296.
The colonel
This
got
is
in
a Florida
trouble in
Supreme Court
Florida.
case from 1987.
One moment. 510 Southern 2nd. What was the other part of the citation?
I have copies, Your Honor.
296, and that's Florida Supreme Court in 1987.
Go ahead.
State versus Fernandez, 927 Southern 2nd, 939, which is a third DCA case from 2006.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
And I do like how he's taking careful consideration, as much as we all
And then the
agree
third
that
case,
Donna is a
Judge,
hose
State, I
piece.
can't pronounce it, but State versus Kunkemoller.
He does have to look at all of the
333
statutes.
335, that's a first DCA case from 2022, but it is distinguishable because it does not address the issue of culpability as the first two cases do, but I wanted to bring that to your attention.
I guess we ditched the half pony. So, blooda. Donna can do it. Mo can do it better. Hair, glorious hair. Oh. That would explain why Harold and Kumar are in the court. Harvey, get used to being on the hot seat. The candles are all LED light, so I did think about that because Mr. Mo was not like, you're going to have a bunch of candles, and I said they're battery operated, like my boyfriend's. I'm just kidding, joking. I did say that in Walmart though because Mr. Mo knows me, but I forgot that there were people around me and, well, you know, they got some strange looks. Oh, good Lord.
Who have either been tried or entered pleas and received sentences. I want to, for this particular argument, relate exclusively to Luis Rivera. He testified in the trial, and through himself and other witnesses, Your Honor has heard what he did in this case.
Is he playing Candy
And
Crush?
what he did in this case compared to what the state has alleged and the jury found that Mrs. Adelson did, the culpability levels are very different. Mr. Rivera was allowed to enter a plea to second-degree murder. And although, as the PSI indicates, he received a sentence of 19 years in the Department of Corrections, that was run concurrent with a sentence he was already serving in a completely unrelated matter in a federal case where he got a 12-year sentence. So the number of years that he will actually serve for his participation in the homicide of Dan Markel is 7 years in the state of Florida Department of Corrections. His conduct, as Your Honor can recall, is that he traveled to Tallahassee sometime in June and scoped out the home of Danny Markel, engaged in some drug activity with Sigfredo Garcia, and then returned to South Florida. A few weeks later, he returned to Tallahassee and again scoped out Danny Markel's house. But he didn't just do that. Prior to arriving in Tallahassee, with himself knowing that he and Sigfredo Garcia were going to kill Danny Markel, he purchased and provided the very firearm that was used to kill Danny. He came to Tallahassee
With money
and then
that came
sat
from
and waited
Donna.
outside his home. They followed him with Mr. Rivera being the driver, followed him while he took his two little boys to daycare, and he sat and watched as Mr. Markel, hand in hand, took those children inside the daycare. He then followed Mr. Markel all the way to the gym, sitting in wait. What was he?
I love that she has this. Look, my defense attorney, studied under Marcel. She is in fact the greatest mimologist that has ever mimed. I love that she's doing little finger puppets to explain the crime. Like, he actually had the force multiplier, and they stalked. I love the charades we're getting.
Waiting for it. He knew what he was waiting for. Mr. Markel did not. He had no clue that these men were outside in a car just waiting for him to go to a place where they could shoot and kill him. And they waited until he exercised. They watched him get back into his vehicle, and then, like hunters, traveled and followed all of this time period straight to his home. And there was no hesitation. He knew exactly what they were going to do. Without any hesitation, they pulled right in behind Danny. Danny's car was still running, the garage door was up, and Sigfredo Garcia exits the...
Is dude really napping over here? He was playing Raid Shadow Legends, and now he's sleeping during Donna's roast? How dare he?
...car and shoots Danny Markel, having done nothing to these men, in the head twice. How Mr. Markel survived, I don't know. But then Luis Rivera is the getaway driver. They flee the scene, they flee Tallahassee, and then Mr. Rivera stops to allow Sigfredo Garcia to dispose of the murder weapon, which has never been found. And then he drives back to South Florida like nothing has happened, purchasing motorcycles and cars, but most importantly, getting paid for the work that he's just done. The payment came from Catherine Magbanwa, and I'll address her in the next segment. The point here is, Judge, that over time, reading different things, you've heard a lot of arguments about what Mrs. Adelson's participation allegedly was. But when it comes down...
She's like, no, Your Honor, our defendants only got a participation trophy. She was not the mastermind. Really, no one has a mind that was, going on. Observation station, I said that it looked like they got confused and thought this was like parking court or traffic court. It looks like they got lost on the set of Harold and Kumar Go to Court. Or, dude, where's my case? I don't know where, Bill and Ted's Excellent Courthouse Adventures came from, but I'm here for it.
...to it, and I didn't mention, but Luis Rivera did have an extensive criminal history at the time that he committed this offense.
All my co-conspirators are worse than me.
With respect to Mrs. Adelson, and I'm saying this, understanding, as you've learned, that Mrs. Adelson still maintains that she is innocent of this conduct. But what the state was able to show through their testimony and evidence was that the role that she played, according to them in the prosecution, was very minimal. The evidence showed that she was very upset when relocation was denied in 2013, not knowing that her daughter had agreed to it, not knowing that until she sat here in trial hearing her daughter's testimony. She wrote some very ugly emails. She said some very ugly things. But in not one of those emails did it ever say that she wished harm upon Danny Markel. And this was in 2013. The evidence was presented by the state that was over a year later that Danny was killed after relocation had been denied. Although they argued that there was continued hostility on the part of Mrs. Adelson regarding the issue of relocation, with the hundreds of thousands of emails they had, they didn't present.
My hostility expired, just like your McCormick spices. Check your spices before Thanksgiving, people. If there's one thing that Donna Adelson can do, is remember to throw out the old spices. So, my culpability was expired at that time.
Evidence that this ongoing dispute was being brought up in any way between the parties. The relocation, between them, that issue had stopped. The testimony that was elicited was that Charlie Adelson, the son of Mrs. Adelson, was the one who was close with Mrs. Adelson, and that when she had a problem, the argument from the state was, when she had a problem, Charlie was the problem solver. And the testimony at court that was presented by the state supported that.
Because Charles was in charge of our days and our nights. Charles was in charge of our wrongs and our rights. Did anyone not understand that Charles was in charge? Judith Light, where are you when we need you? Meredith Baxter Burney, come back.
That theory, that Charlie was the problem solver. It further listed evidence, testimony, that without any knowledge of what the phone calls were, Catherine Magbanwa testified that when she was with Charlie Adelson discussing scenarios, which she didn't describe what scenarios she was discussing, that on occasion there would be a phone call between Charlie and his mother, She didn't hear the mother speaking. In fact, he left the room when he talked to, allegedly, the mother, and he came back in. He never relayed to her any information about the phone call. But the state's theory and the evidence that they presented was because Donna Adelson had been so upset about the fact that relocation was denied, and she continued to be upset, according to the testimony, that Charlie Adelson took it upon himself to reach out to someone, which was his girlfriend, and have her get someone that she knew who could commit this murder, make contact with them. According to the testimony in the state, in this case, Charlie Adelson told Katie, Catherine McVanois, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, just those names were used, but Mrs. McVanois, that she wanted him killed and he would pay for that to happen. Her testimony was she had no idea what the payment was going to be, but she did in fact reach out to her, the father of her children, Sigfredo Garcia, and he agreed to commit the homicide. Mr. Garcia then elicited Luis Rivera to participate with him in the homicide, and I'm not going to go through all the evidence in the case. I want to focus on what Mrs. Adelson allegedly did. Up until the point of the homicide, the only evidence that was presented about Mrs. Adelson's participation were those ugly emails. And there's a distinction, as we discussed during the trial and sometimes even at sidebar, of the evidence being up to the moment that Mr. Markel was killed. Up to that time, the only evidence introduced by the state in this trial.
Your Honor, I admit that my client is a grade A brass-coated bitch, but she didn't do it anymore. I mean, yeah, so she was a little cahoonsy. Who isn't? But, you know, Your Honor, she wrote a couple mean emails. I mean, it's not alleged anymore. Now she has been adjudicated. You would think a defense attorney would realize this.
For that time period, were those ugly emails, and they were ugly. She called him very foul names. She said some ugly language. She clearly was not happy. And whatever conversations may have taken place while Catherine McVanois was inside Charlie Adelson's home and Charlie was outside talking to another person. Mrs. Adelson maintains her innocence. But if you're looking at this particular cause of this disparity in treatment, the state is asking that Mrs. Adelson be sentenced to, obviously, life on count 1 as she has to be, followed by 30 years in the Department of Corrections on counts 2 and 3. This is far in excess of the sentence that was received by the man who himself testified to hunting down Danny Markel, providing the gun for him to be murdered with, leaving the scene of the crime, disposing of the murder weapon, and going on with his life and his gang as he always had. In that disparity, Judge, it just doesn't reconcile with the facts here of what they say Mrs. Adelson did. Although there was a theme that she was the mastermind, I would argue to the court that the evidence did not show she was the mastermind in any way.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she didn't show that she actually had a brain. Facts not in evidence. We do not know if my client is functional. Because, you know, when we get, yeah, you know.
Masterminds that were shown in this trial were Charles Adelson and Catherine McVanois. It didn't show
mastermind
any
is such
activity
a
prior to Mr. Markel being killed where Mrs. Adelson was involved in any way.
Take away what you're arguing as the theme for the moment. The chief difference between Luis Rivera and your client is he entered into a plea, correct?
That's correct. He did enter into a plea, but that, according to the case law, that can be considered.
And he has also cooperated with the state, testifying in many trials.
He was a cooperating witness testifying in these trials. Mrs. Adelson not only has maintained her innocence, she was never offered anything from the state.
Please continue.
On the statute,
she did try. Look, I have great gams. I did try to put them on display, and they were like, ma'am, take off Sarah Boone's shorts. We don't want to see that. We didn't want to see Sarah in them. We don't want to see your gams. So I did try to offer the state, you know, a little va-va-voom. But apparently the clubs, you know, really hurt me.
Basis that the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and was a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct. Some of what I've just argued applies to this one as well, Your Honor. But what I wanted to point out here were the ones that we didn't discuss. So Sigfredo Garcia was found guilty at trial, first-degree murder and conspiracy. His sentence was life on the homicide and an additional 30 years consecutive for the conspiracy count. He is the one who rode in the car. He is the one who obtained Louis.
I have never seen anyone start counting with their baby finger. It's very rare for people to start delineating sentences using the pinky finger first. that's just one of my tismy things, but it's not normal for people to start out here. So this must be something that she's done all of her life, but it's more normal for if you're European to start with your thumb, or if you're American to start with your pointer finger. And I've rarely seen people start with their pinky finger. Just weird things that I notice.
Garcia to go with him. He is the one who sat in the seat knowing he was going to exit the car while they hunted down Danny Markel. And he's the one who got out and shot Danny Markel in cold blood. Left like nothing had ever happened. Along the way, made many stops, including getting out to hide the murder weapon, and then went on with his life. The killer is getting the same sentence that the lesser participant, the state is suggesting, get as well. Life in prison on count 1, followed by 30 years for the conspiracy.
Ma'am, I'm no lawyer or anything, and I'm just generally a wacky person that wears wigs to make fun of, well, hose beasts. But Charles Manson was convicted without having actually been at either murder scene for the Tate or the LaBianca murders, nor was he, in there. So you can be the mastermind, the nexus, because if Donna wasn't there, providing the money, coordinating things, being the impetus behind this, none of this would have happened probably. So yes, she is a pivotal part. She's like, she's not as guilty as those guys. Isn't really a defense.
Conspiracy and solicitation. Luis Rivera, I've already told you what his role was. Catherine Magbanua got the information from Charlie Adelson according to the evidence, and at his request, obtained someone, Sigfredo Garcia, to do the killing. She is the one who coordinated between Charlie Adelson and Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Although she testified that she didn't know Luis Rivera was involved until after it was over, the evidence that the state submitted clearly contradicts that. She was communicating with Luis Rivera before, closely to the homicide, and then shortly thereafter. She's the one that spoke to him. She was sentenced on the first-degree murder to life in prison, and on the solicitation and conspiracy, she was sentenced to an additional 30 years. It was run consecutive. Again, the same sentence that they're asking for on Mrs. Adelson is the sentence that this woman who heard the request for a homicide, found the person to commit the homicide, stayed in communication with both of the individuals who were responsible for killing Danny Markel, followed up with them and provided payment to them, and then took payment back from them for her to keep for herself. She was also paid in this. She participated, knew it was happening.
Hey, she got 1 boob and 2 boobs. Oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this woman. We're fast forwarding. I don't care about this woman relitigating this case, quite frankly, because she didn't do a great job litigating it in the first place. I want to hear the judge bring the hammer down.
Having reviewed the cases presented by the defense concerning the downward departure, also as well the argument that has been presented, the court has reviewed its notes of the trial and will rule on the issue of downward departure at this point. Florida Supreme Court has a 2-part test concerning whether a downward departure should be granted or could be granted by the trial court. The first...
Donna's like, I'm gonna be going to Vietnam. I'm getting the downward departure at TSA finally.
Is whether the trial court can impose a downward departure sentence based on a valid legal ground proven by a preponderance of the evidence. The second step is whether the trial court decides whether it should impose the downward departure based on the totality of the circumstances. As to both the non-statutory grounds that have been argued and the grounds contained within section 921.0026, subsection 2, subsection B,
it's all about the subject.
in reviewing the trial court's notes,
baby.
what has been argued by both the defense and also as well the courts relying on the record itself, the court will find that there is a ground for non-statutory downward departure, but it declines to exercise its discretion. As to the statutory ground, I will find that both the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and a relative minor participant in the criminal conduct. We'll find that has not been proven, but in addition to, the court would still decline to exercise its discretion. As to the sentence in this matter, Ms. Adelson, please rise.
Tell her, Judge, I want to see her cry and collapse.
The level of planning and coordination to bring the murder of Professor Markel to fruition was significant in this case. These were not crimes of chance or opportunity, and these crimes also required you to conspire with your son and others. You certainly can choose to deny your involvement and maintain innocence. The court finds the evidence in this case is clear. You will be sentenced accordingly this afternoon. The jury has found you guilty on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and the court previously adjudicated you guilty as to these same.
Ma'am, I do not care that you're shaking your head. In case you haven't realized because you're in the purple jumpsuit, but your Karen powers have been revoked. You cannot talk to a manager. You cannot talk to anyone. You are now a prisoner and a convicted murderess or conspirator to murderousness. Good luck, bon voyage, and drop the soap, ma'am. Although, ick. I feel bad for the other prisoners. Ick.
Charges on September 4th of this year. On count 1 of the indictment for first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole or release, pursuant to sections 782.04 and 775.082 sub 1 sub a Florida statutes. On count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to 30 years in the Department of Corrections that will run consecutive to count 1. The court will also sentence you to 30 years in the Department of Corrections on count 3. Counts 2 and 3 are to run concurrent with each other, but consecutive to count 1. As to the fees and costs, the clerk can please announce those at this time.
$2,100 as a fine pursuant to section 775.083, $105 as the 5% surcharge required by section 938.04, $20 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.06, crime establishment trust fund, $3 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.01, subsection 1, criminal justice trust fund, $50 pursuant to section 938.03, crimes compensation trust fund, $225 pursuant to section 938.05, local government criminal justice trust fund, $2 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.15, county criminal justice education, $50 as a court cost pursuant to section 775.083.
This parole domestic violence class brought to you from Donna's, Nancy, that sounds about correct.
Subsection 2, county crime prevention, $65 as a court cost pursuant to section 939.185, county additional court costs.
Okay, we lost. Oh, they got a hug. I guess they had difficulties. Harvey is confused. He has no idea where to go without Donna. That man is chipper now that his wife is gone. He ran out that courtroom. Anyways, that's the sentencing for Donna Adelson. I don't know what happened as far as the... Let's see if we can... Honestly, I've had about as much of Harvey as I can handle for the moment. I'm guessing he's looking for his passport to go to Guam right now. That being said, I would do that before they tip over, Harvey. Or maybe they'll tip over with you. Thank you guys for joining me with this. We will be watching as normal, regular Mo, Dan Markel's family's statements after the verdict tomorrow. I did want to roast the heck out of Donna, and I think we've done that. That being said, enjoy your freedom while it lasts, sir, because the way you spoke, I don't think you're going to get any sympathy. Well, normal-ish. Anywho, thank you guys, and just as a reminder, I do have the short video of both dresses. I need your help. I cannot girl, so any fashion advice would be great. The river dancing in front of a green screen will be happening tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, so stay tuned for that. But I do need help because I found 2 dresses, and we're working on that. Bye, you guys. Oh wait, let me see who I can send you to. I always forget to do this. Baker's so good. He used to remind me about doing this, but I have forgotten to do this. So let's see who is up. It looks like the recovery addict is doing the Temper Fi trial, so I am going to send you over to him. Let him know that Mo sent you, and give him warm support and love from me. I will see you all tomorrow, and I will have the verdict and the Markel statements tomorrow. Bye, you guys.